Fake carrots. Fake fruit. Fake. Fake. Fake grapefruits. Fake. Liar! You liar!
And now, ladies and gentlemen, here's Johnny.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Prepared Mind channel. This is a special Monday Night Live. Well, last night, folks, American Airlines had me tossed up in the air all over the country. Getting tossed about a bit. There was no way I was going to make it in time. They bumped, and I figured out the game that the airlines are playing. I'm pretty sure I got it figured out. They'll have 3 flights available on a day anywhere, and then if they don't all sell out, well, guess what? They start canceling flights and combining passenger lists. That's just what it felt like, right? Watching people from like 6 o'clock in the morning get on a plane at 2 in the afternoon going, we keep getting bumped. There it is. Once again, it's just another screw job, I tell you. But we made it. I made it back to the Deep South, and I did have great fun with my family. So instead of flying into Sacramento, we flew into Reno, drove up Mount Rose Pass. It was snowing at 8,911 feet. I got out in my flip-flops, my shorts, and a T-shirt and had some fun. Drove around Lake Tahoe and then on to my son's house and visited with my son, my grandson, and the whole family. And I had a wonderful weekend. I want to thank you guys for being a part of that. But all during that time, I kept my eye on the news. And I'm glad you guys are here. You're back with me. We are live, and we're going to talk about what the hell is happening. Now, this is YouTube. This is the club, and this is Subscribe Star. This is the Zooo, meaning everyone is here live. Everyone has a chance to come live. And Uman and I are continuing to monitor, along with everyone else in the world of social media, the fact that we had hundreds of thousands of viewers a month, and now we are getting less than that. Far less, right? Great channels that were explosive, huge superstars in the world of, well, alternative, patriotic, right-wing, shall we say, social media. Now we're scrapping. We're fighting just to keep the channels alive as they continue to hide us and blacklist us and shit all over us. In fact, folks, Budweiser is now doing the same thing they did about elections and the cerveza bug and the Jim Jones juice and anything they don't like, right? Anheuser-Busch, the CEO himself, is not taking any responsibility for what they did by completely disenfranchising every redneck, hillbilly, swamp billy, mountain billy, every country soul out there, every hard-working blue-collar American, by putting a fruitcake in a bathtub with a can of Bud Light and his face on the frickin' can. Instead of taking responsibility and apologizing, they tried appealing to us with a bunch of patriotic horse bullshit. That was more like horse shit now, isn't it? No one fucking bought it. Their sales are plummeting. They tried apologizing without apologizing, and that pissed off the homos. So they're kicking Budweiser and Anheuser-Busch out of their bars. Hey, I think Uman used this phrase. He said they burned down their own fucking house. And so instead of just coming out and stating what they are, right, they're blaming the boycott of Budweiser on social media misinformation. That's what the CEO says. Hey, get this, CEO jackass. We are not misinformed. Bud Light has pronounced itself as queer beer. They asked for it. You want some Brokeback Bud? It's just unbelievable. Hollywood wants to ruin cowboys. They want to ruin the military. They want to ruin everything, America. Same with every woke corporation. We are not misinformed. We see exactly what the fuck it is they're doing to America. It's not misinformation, folks. It is a transformation of America. you know, Barack Hussein Barry Soetoro Obama. He's going to fundamentally change America, fundamentally transform America. The Constitution is just a piece of paper to those peeps, folks. Your culture doesn't mean shit to them. And I'm going to cover that in a way that is going to be unique to every channel on the internet. I'm going to explain to you exactly what the fuck is going on in a new way. In a new way. It's very fascinating, and it's not an exact parallel, but it will get your attention. So this is Monday Night Live, which means you can do super chat, donations, and get your questions, and I will put your comments, your thoughts, your statement, everything that you have to say up on the board. And I'll tell you what, your super chat donations made going to see my grandson a reality. Thank you very, 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 very much. Everything makes a difference. Everything does. I did some high elevation hiking, like I said, up over 8,000 feet, mountain trails, all kinds of stuff out there. I should post some pictures, and perhaps I will do that. Saw some incredible scenery out west, just like I see out here in the south. But folks, California is fucking jacked up. It really is. And by the way, you are not misinformed. You are alive. You're awake. You're red-pilled. You're red-blooded American. We've got 98 people here live. Get this internet address out. Send it out. Text, voice, phone, carrier pigeon, smoke signal, whatever it takes. And hit that thumbs up. And that'll start getting people here live. And we're going to get into this. Yeah, the CEO from Budweiser, we're misinformed. It's social media misinformation. No, they put a freaking fruitcake on a can of beer that goes out to every single hardworking man out there. You know what? I got to my kid's house. I got to Luke's house. He's been 21 years old since October. Opened up his garage fridge, you know, where every man keeps his beer stash. Case of Bud Light. And I said, what the hell is that, Lucas? And he goes, hey, Dad, hey. He goes, that's pre-gay Bud Light. I'm keeping that. I'm going to be selling those in the future. Not a rainbow can, Dad. Not a fruitcake can, Dad. That is vintage Bud Light. And we had a freaking laugh, did a high five. Funny shit. But as promised, I'm now going to share with you where the hell we are at. And this came through an interesting off chance. You know, this explanation about how we got where we got. What is going on with our culture? What is going on with our country? And there was an experiment done by a scientist named John Calhoun. And he did a lab rat experiment, which explains the thumbnail at the beginning of this video, right on YouTube. This was an experiment that has scared people. It's concerned people. It's really freaked out the leftists, and it's freaked out people on the right, everyone that knows about it. So this experiment was called Universe 25, and it was done by John Calhoun. And what he did was he created an alternative to what mice usually live in. So he created a paradise of mice, was one of the terms, a Shangri-La, a utopia. So here I'm going to read from, it's just information that's on the internet. In fact, I checked it out, and it is real. Universe 25 by John Calhoun was real experiments. And they conducted it several times and got the same result every single time. So here we go. A specially designed living area was created where rodents had abundance of food and water, as well as room, lots of room. He placed 4 pairs of mice, 4 male, 4 female. And yeah, there were real females and real males, right? But he put these mice in this room. And I'll just now read from the article. In a short time, they began to reproduce, resulting in their population growing rapidly. However, after 315 days, their reproduction began to decrease significantly. When the number of rodents reached 600, a hierarchy was formed between them and the so-called wretches who appeared. The wretches of the mice appeared. The larger rodents began to attack the group, with the result that many males began to collapse psychologically. Right? They were not dominant males, so they started failing, and they, whimpered, cowered, hid. They weren't dominant. Now, as time went on, the females showed more and more aggressive behavior as well. Sound familiar, feminists? Sound familiar with men becoming less manly-like and recoiling when faced with adversity? As time went on, the females were more aggressive. Isolation elements and lack of reproductive mood occurred. There was a low birth rate and at the same time an increase in mortality of younger rodents. Then a new class of male rodents appeared, the so-called beautiful mice. They refused to mate with the females or to fight for their space. All they cared about was food and sleep. At one point, the beautiful males and isolated females made up the majority of the population. Now, this is interesting, folks. There was a set amount of room. There's plenty of food, plenty of water. But after a while, they started to get crowded, and their behavior changed. Juvenile mortality reached 100% after a while. There was no desire to mate, to raise young, or to establish a role within their little mouse society, right? Reproduction eventually became zero. Among the mice, homosexuality was also observed. Isn't that interesting? Despite the fact that there was plenty of food, plenty of females, plenty of water, 2 years after the start of the experiment, the last baby of the colony was born. Right? They tried the same experiment 25 times, and each time the result was the same. What they're looking at, folks, is urban sociology and societal collapse. I think there's a lot of parallels. I think there's an awful lot of parallels between our world today and the mice of the Universe 25 experiments. I found it fascinating to hear that while there's plenty of food and water, certain mice were more equal than other mice. And other mice just didn't give a shit. And the females quit taking care of their babies and abandoned them. And the male mice, they just lost interest. They became homosexual and cannibalistic. Even though there's plenty of food, even though there's plenty of resources. About the only thing they ran into trouble with was the amount of room they had, right? They became very, shall we say, densely populated. Kind of like people living in cities. What do we have in cities? We have a collapse of societal norm, cultural behavior, rampant homosexuality. Why? Right? I'm not a mouse. I'm not a scientist. I'm just a guy. But cannibalism, right? The abandonment of children and childbearing. Interesting. We're seeing so many parallels. And ultimately, they all just die off because they lose interest in life. Now, it's fascinating. If we think about human society that way, we have a lot of similarities. We have the dominant ones who continue to dominate and just eat whoever they want and take whatever they want and screw over everyone else. Right? The wretches. I mean, he came up with names of them based on their behavior. The wretches, the beautiful ones that just sat around and ate and took care of themselves, and that was it. That's all they had an interest in. They had no interest in anything else. Interesting things. What do you think of that? Is it just a strange coincidence that this experiment happened, what, half a dozen times, and they just kept producing the same result? Initially, a lot of reproduction, lots of babies, a culture, a society of mice grow up, and then they abandon it and completely abandon what they are. Bizarre. All right. We've got a lot to talk about, And I'm thinking I'm going to be here, well, an hour or so, unless you guys want to hang out longer. It's all up to you. A lot of shit has happened since I've been back on here with you guys. A lot of shit has happened. I brought my bottle of scotch in case anyone wants to have a drink. Folks, it has hit the fan. It really has. Let's go to World War III. World War III. The intel chief of Ukraine, he has a threat out there, folks. He's going to kill Russians anywhere. Is this a war that's going on, or is this genocide? None of this can be done without Zelensky, folks. So when it's the intel chief, it's Zelensky. The same way if the Russian foreign minister or Kremlin spokesman said something, it all goes back on Putin's shoulders. So they're going to kill Russians anywhere, huh? Is this war that we have, a special military operation? Or does it sound like Ukraine is ready to engage in genocide? Well, these jackasses are also bombing the ever-loving shit out of Zaporizhia's nuclear power plant. That's right. Ukraine is now openly bombing it, trying to hit it, blow it up. Ukraine is desperate. They're losing. They're getting their asses kicked. They're getting their asses kicked. Now, Zelensky, his little intel chief said this, quote, "We've been killing Russians and we will keep killing Russians anywhere on the face of this world until the complete victory of Ukraine." Sounds kind of like Hitler's final solution phraseology, don't you think? The complete victory of Ukraine. What is the complete victory of Ukraine? What is the battle plan? What is the goal of Ukraine? All that we keep hearing is they want to kill Russians. They want to kill Russians anywhere on the face of the world. Excuse me? That's some final solution type thinking. That's what we have, folks, leading the war effort in Eastern Europe, in Ukraine. How safe do you feel knowing that people like that, now, just like Hitler, folks, Hitler was supported by the British monarchy. Hitler was supported by the bankers in London. Hitler was supported by the bankers in New York City and the financiers. That's right, they financed. They gave money to Hitler. That's where he came from. Who is giving money? Who is financing Zelensky? That's right, the United States government is financing directly Adolf Zelensky's bullshit. And their final solution, their objective is to kill Russians anywhere on the face of the earth that they find them. Now, really, did Americans kill Germans in America just because they were German during World War II? Or what about the Japanese? Well, we do know that the government did what? They rounded up Japanese Americans and put them in concentration camps. Yes, they did. This is amazing. They supported Hitler. Yes, they did. They supported Hitler, and then they rounded up Japanese. This is what governments do, folks. When it comes to war, this is what they do. Are you prepared? Literally, are you prepared? How about down in Texas? I think they're getting prepared, folks. I think they are indeed getting prepared. Governor Abbott has now deployed the Texas Tactical Border Force. That's right, folks. The Border Force. Not an Air Force, not a Space Force, but a Border Force. The Texas Tactical Border Force. You know what they're there for? Well, Title 42 is going to end, which means there's going to be even more illegals just pouring across the border. Is Joe Biden doing a freaking thing about it? Oh, he says he's going to do something about it, but no guarantee, not a bit. So Governor Abbott's like, you know what? We're not waiting for Biden. We're not asking permission from Biden. This is how I see it, folks. We are on our own. We're on our own. Shit is hit the fan. We're on our own now. expect to see more of this type of crap from the federal government. I mean, what are they doing? They're opening the border. We talk about this all the time. We talk about this all the time. Right, we're at war in this country. I just talked about the Texas Tactical Border Force, right? What about the regular military? What's it thinking about? What's it doing? Oh, well, they have a drag queen recruiter for the U.S. Navy. Yep, this came out. They've got a drag queen in the Navy. You know, there's been jokes my whole life about Navy and how gay it is and gay it looks with their little gay uniforms. And now they have an out-in-your-face drag queen who is basically recruiting for the Navy and got a lot of heat. That's right, a lot of criticism. Like, why is sex in the military and perversion, why is that getting top billing? Why is that getting all the attention? You know, a lot of criticism. So what does this drag queen fruitcake have to say? He says, haters only hate when you're winning. No. We hate the destruction of our culture by your perversions. And we hate you grooming our children. That's what we think of drag queens. It's a destruction of our culture. What matters? Do you remember years ago, folks? I'm going to take you back in the Wayback Machine. The gays were like, we want gay marriage. And we're like, no, marriage is a man and a woman, period. End of story, done. Gay is gay. Marriage is marriage. And they pushed and they fought and they pushed and they fought just for gay marriage, just to be accepted as normal gay people. And what happened, folks? That's right. Right now we've got this. Even the gays are like, you guys are a bunch of sick perverts, a bunch of groomers, right? Gays Against Groomers. Remember that social media group that came out? Where are they now? Did they get silenced? Did they get censored? Are they still there? Or have they just been pushed into a corner also so no one can hear what they have to say? Haters only hate when you're winning. No, haters haters hate when we see you guys being complete, destructive, perverted freaks. And they love the attention they get, though, folks. Oh, I saw one of these fruitcakes at an airport. I sure did. Stomping up and down from terminal to terminal, back and forth, trying to suck up as much attention as possible. One of these fruitcakes, one of these trans people, not even hiding the fact that that's what they were. They were there begging for attention, trying to piss people off. And people looked at them and went, you know, fucking freaks. Nobody likes it. We know what it's about. It's about destroying our country, our culture, our laws, and introducing their sick version of reality. They're not winning, folks. They're now losing. And they're being hated on because of their attitude and what they're doing and their threats and their violence. I don't have to make this shit up. I don't. The government is all for it, though, folks. The government is all for it. Let me give you a little taste of it, right? Well, I'm going to go about this kind of in a tangential way, a tertiary way. We're going to get there. In Oklahoma, the governor there, Mr. Stitt, well, the state there has defunded the PBS station. And Governor Stitt is defending it. He's standing up and he's, hey, we've defunded it over, quote, indoctrination and over sexualization of our children, end quote. Now, here's what I have to say. Is there over sexualization of children? I think any sexualization of children is absolutely 100% fucking wrong. But these are just his words to describe it, right? In other words, it's not, it should say over indoctrination and overt sexualization of our children. It is not secret. It is not subliminal. It is in everyone's faces. Folks, PBS is government. It is U.S. government. It is state government. It is local government. PBS, Public Broadcasting System, is government. And government funds the grooming of children via the TV through the overt sexualization and the political indoctrination. It's Marxist, perverted crap. And we are fighting back. And we need to keep fighting back, whether it's over the drag queen story hour, or whether it's over the destruction of our military, whether it's over the absolute uselessness of our educational institutions, name it, right? Child mutilation. That's what it is. And so that's what we're calling it. And that's what is sticking, folks. And government legislatures and government governors are passing this at the state level to get rid of this absolute filth. Right now, the governor in New Mexico is a pile of shit. The governor in Arizona is a pile of shit. And the governor in California is a pile of absolute dog shit. Look up dog shit. There's a picture of Gavin Newsom right next to it. Those three states have Democrat governors. Consequently, their borders are open. Governor Abbott is the only governor fighting to protect his state. Whatever state you're in, you're going to have to fight to protect it, folks. Figuratively, and ultimately, it's going to be literally. Now, I do not promote violence or hatred or anger or any of that. I just see that it's happening. The hatred is coming from the left. The anger is coming from the left. And the destruction of our country is coming to the left. And we have a right to defend it. We have a right to defend our laws, our morals, everything. And I want you to know it is up to you to fight back. Even folks now, it has been exposed. This shit is being exposed everywhere. The Catholic Church, well, there's a lot of Catholic churches that are pissed at the FBI for sending informants and infiltrators into their church to spy on them because they believe they're dangerous. Well, how about this one? It goes the other way. The Catholic Church is being split in two. Divide and conquer, says Satan, and so they do. In New York City, there's a Catholic church there that is hosting an art exhibit. What is this disgusting, filthy art exhibit called? Quote, God is trans, end quote. Unfucking believable. This is the Catholic Church I think that Joe Biden belongs to, huh? And that Nancy Pelosi, hey, if you're for pro-abortion and you're for all this gay shit, come out and say it. Why don't they just come out and say, folks, that they want to normalize pedophilia? You know, MAPS, minor attracted persons. Why not just, well, they're doing it. They're coming out and they're saying it. They're doing it in our faces with all this trans crap and gay crap in the schools, on TV, in PBS. This is where they're taking this country. They're destroying it morally so they can bring it down culturally and then ultimately get rid of our Constitution. The fight is coming. I sure hope you have food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, and you better have a lot of means of self-defense. That is actually, to me, becoming a much bigger item again. There was a point there where I thought, you can have too much ammo. I don't think so anymore, because they've divided us so well that there are enemies on every side of us, because everyone is picking some reason to hate everyone else, right? Someone who may have been your ally 5 years ago is now your enemy because they're pro-trans, they're pro-gay, they're pro-Ukraine. So now they're your enemy on the left. Right? You could have thought, well, my neighbors are good church-going folks, so I can trust them. Well, can you? What if they're one of these fruitcake Catholic or Protestant churches that think gay is fine and that God is a trans? I'm pretty sure it says Father, Son, and Holy Ghost. I don't see anything about there about Jesus cutting his dick off. I don't see anything there about God saying, yeah, you should all dress like women. In fact, if you go into the Bible, it says right there that men should not dress like women, that homosexuality is a sin. The reason that's in there is because it should not be accepted culturally. It should not be allowed to exist socially. If it's going to exist, it needs to hide. It should not exist, because when society and culture accepts it and then does what? Promotes it, you end up where we're at right now. The same thing happened to the Romans, folks. We've been talking about this the last 10 fucking years. The Romans' fall didn't happen because of anything other than their own demise. Right? The Romans had it all, folks. Just like the rats in Universe 25. They had it all. They had all the food they needed. They had all the water they needed. They had all the room they needed. But they were corrupt. Right? They're absolutely corrupt. And they brought themselves down. They destroyed themselves through perversion and corruption and self-absorption. That's what these people are, these leftists. They are. They're completely absorbed in their own shit. They think and can't get over themselves. Right? I mean, this got me. King Charles of England, Charles III, he was coronated. In fact, Jill Biden, Dr. Jill, was up in the nosebleed seats. Biden himself, old Chunky Joe, nowhere to be seen. But John Kerry was there, the climate czar. And he seemed to have way better seats than Dr. Jill. But what I looked at, again, is I look for something that's different. What doesn't fit? Biden is standing there, suit, tie, and a coat. And on his coat, on his chest, where people in the military wear their badges and medals, their ribbons, he's wearing medals across there. Why was he wearing fucking medals at a coronation on civilian clothes? Why was John Kerry wearing medals? Really, civilian clothes? For what? Well, it looked like one of them was a Purple Heart. Did John Kerry win a Purple Heart? Was he injured in Vietnam? Right? Who gave that jackass medals, and for what purpose? And why is he wearing them on his civilian clothes? Now, we're Americans, so we look at shit a little different than the rest of the world. Now, the rest of the world loves to wear their medals, right? The king can give you a medal, or the queen. Oh yeah, right. Any potentate, a company can give you medals. Okay, wear those. Anyways, it just seemed like it was pretentious. But then again, that's what John Kerry is. He's a pretentious, erudite, lying sack of shit. And by the way, the feminists are already going nuts. And the anti-male pandering putzes are screaming and yelling about King Charles being another white guy as king. They totally forget the fact that the queen, his mother, had been reigning for like over 80 fucking years. But, you know, we can't have a man in a position. And King Charles, in my opinion, by the way, is no great example of what a man should be. He's just another inbred fruitcake royal out there. And they are all a bunch of wackos, folks. Whacked out of their fucking mind. They are the dominant mice. They are. They're completely the dominant mice. And they don't care. Yeah, John Kerry, by the way, the climate czar, which means king. He's the king? Unfucking believable. Oh, another reminder, folks, this is Monday Night Live. We have all of YouTube that wants to show up. We have the club, and we have Subscribe Star. We're all here live. Now, the climate czar. And I'm going to treat myself to a fucking scotch, by the way. I'm glad to be back, and I want to say thank you to everyone. They're at war with us, folks. It has royally hit the fan. Cheers. Very good. Now, the climate czar. John Kerry was in England. What does a climate czar have anything to do with? Oh, yeah, climate change. So, Joe Biden, that's right, Corn Pop Biden. Let's go, Brandon. His unlawful, unconstitutional regime is raising the stakes and is going to advance their climate change agenda, and is going after your appliances. That's right, folks, your appliances. And it has new rules designed to absolutely cripple our world, folks. They're going out after what we saw and heard. Natural gas stoves. Natural gas is evil, bad. And they're like, no, we never said that. That's not real. That's media misinformation. That's a lie. That's a conspiracy theory. And then within 2 fucking weeks, they're running full bore. New York is outlawing all natural gas appliances on anything new, all new construction. Well, they're going to crack down, folks, on washers, dryers, refrigerators. It's all on their plate. Before you know it, you're going to be in your fucking creek or a pond in the backyard, scrubbing your pots and pans. They're going to take away everything, folks, that makes our life great. And I've talked about this in the past. I said, what is it that the rich hate? Why is it that these dominant rats want to screw us over? Well, because, at first, they were the only ones with plumbing, indoor plumbing, hot water, electricity, then a stove that's electric, and hot water heater that's electric, air conditioning, my golly, right? A big kitchen with lots of appliances, vacuum cleaners to help you clean, showers, right? And then shower heads that come off and you can spray yourself all over. How glorious is that, right? Well, there's nothing that distinguishes us from them except maybe their homes are bigger. Oh, I've worked on their homes, folks. I've worked on their homes. They have 6-burner stoves, 8-burner stoves. They have refrigerators that are 4 feet, 6 feet wide, ceiling to floor height. None of this just stuff that only goes up to what you can reach. They have insane appliances for themselves, but they're not happy. They're still not fucking happy. These super rich, wealthy bastards. They're not happy with you having a refrigerator at all or a fucking washing machine. First they dicked with us and said, we're going to have this low water usage washing machine. We're going to have low flush toilets. And it's always to take away our quality of life. I remember for fucking decades, natural gas was called clean natural gas, efficient natural gas, a resource in America. It's a resource in America that's abundant, so let's use it to cleanly heat our homes. Now it's a big F you. They're going to try taking them all away, folks. I mean, smart appliances. Remember that? Oh, that's great. Smart appliances. It'll tell you when your milk is out or this is out or that's out. Well, first it was smart appliances. Then they started snitching on us. Then we found out, they can control our heaters, water heaters, appliances, because they're hooked up to the internet. They can hack in there. No natural gas. What's next, folks? It's anything they wish. They're going to take away our quality of life. Take away your meat. Have some bugs. Have some sludge. Take away your children. That's right. The state wants to own your children and sexualize them. They are, folks, coming for us and taking everything away from us, ultimately to take our lives. Uman says we've got some super chat donations. So let's go there and take a look around, see what you guys want to talk about. And it is Boomer21 out of Canada with a $22 super chat donation. And he says this: border towns will become outnumbered and turn into ghost towns. Property values will plummet and there'll be no more just-in-time delivery due to ambushes. Yeah, we've got a lot coming. You see, they want to take away our choice. They want to take away prosperity. They want to take it all away from us. Now, I remember years ago, some European jackasses came over here to the United States of America. And you know what they did? They complained because they went to a deli and they noticed that Americans have a choice of 10, 20 different cheeses. and they have a choice of 10, 20 different meats, and they can have the sandwich made any fucking way they want it, with lettuce, tomatoes, onions, peppers, pepperoncinis, dressings, condiments, mayonnaise, mustard, Dijonnaise, spicy mustard, anything you want. And they were pissed about it. They're like, these Americans are spoiled. They can have whatever they want. Yeah, no shit. You just have to fucking work your ass for it. You have to pay for it. And the stores have to be willing to take a chance and buy all those products and see if Americans will buy them. And if they buy them, they buy more and put them on the shelf, right? And then they tell the warehouse, keep enough of that stuff over there. And when we need more, we'll order it just in time and you can have it shipped on over. So we'll have just enough. You'll have just enough. The dairies will have just enough of all these different varieties of stuff. They don't like that. The rich don't like that. The powerful don't like us having choices. Now, in the Soviet Union, folks, do you think that the politically powerful in communist Russia and communist China, do you think that they starve? Do you think that they wonder, can I get some more Gouda cheese? Maybe some Roquefort, some blue cheese, some Munster, some Swiss, some Colby Jack? How about some good old-fashioned plain American cheese? Do you think that they suffered a bit, these super elite bastards, in these Marxist and fascist countries? No. No, but the regular people, they don't get choices. And I grew up looking at this, looking at Soviet Russia going, why are they promoting socialism as a good thing? When I look at Russia and England and other socialist countries back in the 80s, and they get two choices of coats. You get the same coat in white or black. You get the same pants in blue or dark blue. Right? You get the same socks, white extra tall or white regular. And they don't have choices like we do. Right? The people live just like shit, and the elites were happy about it because they felt super powerful. Right? So what are they doing here? They're bringing people across our border. I think Boomer's absolutely right. I think the border towns are going to become undesirable. Property values will plummet because of crime and destruction. The stores themselves, there's a chance. There's a good chance that they won't be able to keep the shelves stocked. And just-in-time delivery will not be enough to handle the influx. If 1 million people just pour over the border this week and into the weekend because Title 42 is gone. This country is being attacked, folks. Now, Texas stands a chance of protecting itself. New Mexico, forget it, run by a communist. Arizona, forget it, run by a racist communist. California, forget it. Gavin Newsom is a giant fascist tool, a left-wing social fascist tool. This is America, folks. It's no longer a fucking joke. It's no longer a prognostication about the future. It's here, it's now, it's in our face. It absolutely, folks, is a nightmare. And it's our nightmare. Can't have enough ammo now because I think enemies are all around us, even in the South. All right, let's do another one. Boomer, thank you, sir, for supporting this channel with your super chat donation. And now we have Darren ERP1 with a $20 super chat donation. Thank you, Darren. And he says, unfucking believable. And cheers. Thank you. Yeah, all of it. Is this America? What the hell happened to our country? Where did it all go? The land of the free, the home of the brave, truth, justice, honor. All of that, all of these American proverbs we used to have. Now we've got boys who think they're little girls splashing in fucking sudsy water, drinking beer with their likeness on it, like they're little giddy. Well, they are fruitcakes, right? And that's America. America's enemies are looking at this country and laughing their asses off. They're just absolutely laughing their asses off. Do you think China's afraid of America? Do you? Right? They're not. They're all watching, folks. And these companies are just running headlong, head first, as fast as they can into a brick wall, thinking America's going to eat their shit up. Right? Now, the women's clothing line, Anthropology, is following Bud Light's marketing plan. Right? Folks, this is intentional. They want to have men dressing in their women's clothes, and that's their marketing campaign. That's their marketing campaign. They're not going to learn, folks. It's not about learning. They are attacking us even harder. So fuck Bud, fuck Biden, fuck them all, folks. But they're taking this country down. Banks, this week, who's going to be next? What bank is going to fail? It's coming. There's lots more coming. What do you want to talk about? This is, folks, the Zooo on Monday Night Live. Yeah, we're on our own. We are absolutely on our own with what is happening. Washington is not going to save us. QAnon is not going to save us. Nope. We have all the evidence we need, folks. We have Hunter Biden's laptop. And now we have everyone involved in covering up and lying about it. The 51 intelligence officers, Tony Blinken, right? Completely involved in the cover up, and it's become a scandal. They're threatening to go after and arrest Hunter Biden. And now the leftist Democrats, I mean, they control the regime. They control Washington. And it's so bad that they may have to actually fucking arrest Hunter Biden. But the information is explosive beyond that. And I want to congratulate and thank you for forcing these assholes in Washington to do their fucking jobs, because you have written, called, emailed, texted, everything you can, getting under them and saying, fucking stand up for your oath, do your duty, be American, be patriotic, truth, justice, the American way, right? Do your fucking jobs. And despite all the hiding, all the hype, all the bullshit, it looks like they're going to have to arrest shit-stain Hunter. And I'm still waiting. I'll have a drink of scotch if I see that piece of shit in either a jumpsuit or a pair of handcuffs. He needs to be handcuffed. He needs to be thrown in jail. But you know what? He may not. They're saying they're going to. And in fact, Juan Williams of Fox News threw an absolute hissy fit, which he's famous for, saying, well, it's the president's son, and there's nepotism is not illegal. So any business involving his son and him doesn't make it illegal. And it's just making up lies and bullshit, throwing sand in the air and trying to blind people with it. These people are all in each other's pockets. Nepotism is a bad thing. That's why it has a name that is very negative in connotation. Right? Nepotism, involving your family in all kinds of dealings when there shouldn't be. It's unbelievable, folks. This is our country. But don't worry. I'm sure the Bidens will be as well cared for as they can. But Trump, there's your problem. They're going after Trump. Did you know that? Oh, yeah, folks, it is Trump. They want Trump so bad. They want Trump so bad. They're going after him bigger than shit. Trust me, folks, they're going after Trump. They want to lock him up and hold him in jail on the charges they say they've got him. They really do. They want to get Trump. It's his fault. All of this is his fault. Oh, by the way, this is important. The vodka company, Smirnoff, is also taking a page from the Bud Light marketing campaign. Now, in Texas, the legislature was trying to protect children from these perverted, sick freaks. And one of the trans activists who disrupted the Texas legislature has now gotten a wonderful marketing partnership deal. So if you're a Republican and a conservative and you go protest in Washington, D.C. and try and save your country, you are attacked by the police, hit with tear gas grenades, rubber bullets, flashbang grenades, and then you're arrested and accused of insurrection. And you go to jail for years without having a trial. And then when you finally get to the trial, it's a bullshit trial. The judge and the jury are on the same team, right? It is not a jury of peers, but rather a jury of activists who are anti-freedom. But if you're a fruitcake in Texas or any other state, you can go disrupt the legislature as much as you want, and you'll be financially rewarded. So by the way, folks, it's now time to boycott Smirnoff. They have joined the Anheuser-Busch label as fruity, right? They have another one of these trans fruitcakes, folks. This is where they're going. This is intentional. It is not going away. They are not going to give up. You need to be well prepared for the garbage that's coming. We're not at the bottom, folks. It's a long way down. It's a long way down. Now, what's interesting, as an aside, I told you earlier, I drove around Lake Tahoe, which I've done in the past, but there's this one particular spot on Emerald Bay where the road leaves the lakeside and it goes up high, a couple hundred feet. It winds its way up and then cuts between another small lake that's just to the side of Lake Tahoe or to the side of Emerald Bay. And there's no safety rails. There's no shoulder. There's just a cliff on each side, literally a cliff. I mean, it's not vertical cliff, but it's like this. There's a cliff on each side. There's no shoulder. There's no safety rails, and it's 2 lanes. You make one bad move, and you're off the cliff. You go on either side, you're off the cliff. This is where I think we're at in America. We're on a razor's edge. We're on a knife edge, and we're heading down it. One wrong turn, and we're going to tumble real hard, real fast. They're threatening the power grid in America again, folks. The politicians, the anti-civilization people, they're talking about our power grid again. Are you prepared? Do you have food? Can you care for yourself? Right? Let's go through the things you need to have: food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, means of self-defense. Do you have it all together? Do you have your plan? You're going to be on your own. There's going to be people around you in your neighborhood. Hopefully you have a group of patriotic, real Americans who won't give your children to a bunch of fruitcake drag queens to keep them entertained while you fight off, the Mexican hordes coming across the southern border. I don't think that's going to happen. I think people are going to realize that we've had enough of this shit. But it's going to get nasty. It has to get nasty. I'm not asking for it. I'm not praying for it. I don't want it to happen, but it's going to happen. So get ready for it. It's going to happen. These people are going to continue pushing and demanding and begging destruction. When the Soviet Union fell, folks, back in the early 90s, the Soviet Union fell. It didn't happen overnight. It had been failing for quite some time. It had been failing because socialism is crap. So it was failing. The government knew it. Everyone knew it. But they didn't stop doing the things that they were doing that caused it to happen. They just pushed harder for more communism. Let's do it even greater. Let's be more extreme. And it failed. They're pushing and pushing and pushing, folks, to make the world accept these fruitcakes and these environmentalists. They're pushing for this central bank digital currency. everything they can to destroy this world. Oh, by the way, where's the World Economic Forum? What are they doing today? Oh, they're applauding themselves for destroying this country. That's where they are, and that's what they're doing. They're applauding themselves. What a great job they've done bringing down America. That's right, bringing down America. They've done all that they can. They can't get enough of what they're doing, folks. They love it. In fact, on a college campus, there was a pro-life display out, and a liberal dipshit professor lost her mind when she saw that. And she ended up getting arrested because she was obstructing and trying to destroy other people's free speech. And it's unbelievable what this professor's name is. Are you ready for it? Are you ready for it? Oh, and when she was being arrested, people were screaming, "She's a professor," right? "She's a fucking professor." All these pro-choice idiots were trying to protect this person. And her name is Overdyke. At age 57, wants to destroy someone else's free speech. All right, Professor Overdyke. And this particular college had rules on free speech, including prohibiting others or preventing others or obstructing others' free speech. It's against the rules. So not only did this professor violate the rules, but violated the law, ended up being arrested. I wonder if they're going to actually charge the freak with anything, or if they're just going to say, yeah, we arrested it and now we released it. Catch and release. Right. It is completely unbelievable, folks. Hillary Clinton, remember that freak, that pig, Hillary Clinton? She's out there politically speaking in Canada. Hillary Clinton is. Remember what she's pushed on the world? All this shit and garbage she's pushed on the world. She was the "it takes a village to raise a child." You know, her idea about government responsibilities, what difference does it make now? You know, she is having one heck of a good time, folks, at our expense. She is one of the sickest people out there. She's running free. No one in America wants to see her shit. She's having to speak in Canada. But it's incredible. These Biden and Hillary supporters, folks, they're the ones out killing and killing and killing. Right? Texas Mall, 8 were killed, 7 were wounded. Another left-wing nutcase ran down a bunch of people with his car. It's not going to get any better. No, it's not going to get any better, folks. In fact, there's more shit's going to get really bad articles coming out. Right? It's coming. Right? There was another one of these tranny type people who lost their shit in San Francisco, of all places. You would think the San Francisco Board of Supervisors would have no problem with their people. No, folks, these trans people will bring down everyone and everything. You know, this thing was just screaming, "I hate you," to the San Francisco Board of Supervisors. They hate themselves, folks. They hate everyone, everything, themselves, as well as you. They're going to destroy it all if they get their way. And it looks like they're going to get their way because Biden and Hillary and the whole lot of them are in full support of this anti-America destruction. Well, it has been just a fun little Monday Night Live. And next Sunday, we'll go back to the regular Sunday Night Live version. But here we are, starting the week off. And it is absolutely crazy, folks. Absolutely crazy what's going on out there. And I'm going to continue to do what I do. Tomorrow morning, it will be Zero Dark 30 if you're a member of the club. And I encourage you to join the preparedmind.club. There's a premium membership there, and you can join us Monday through Friday, normal Monday through Fridays, every day live, discussing what the hell is happening. So anyways, here we are. I'm going to let you guys go. Enjoy your Monday night. Enjoy your family. Have a good dinner. Enjoy America. Enjoy your freedom. Remember, all of these things are only ours if we're willing to defend them and fight for them. So I hope that you do just that, that you fight for what is yours, mine, ours, our country. Semper Fi. God bless America.